What's good, YouTube? It's your boy DB back with another Splinterlands video. In today's video, we're actually going to be talking about something that's just been bugging me a little bit over the last few days. And it's really with the reward structure being changed, how there is now very little incentive to buy for the average player. I myself put in about $200 in the build up to this because the whole thing was being kind of pushed that there was, they wanted to reward people that owned their cards. I already owned a bunch anyway, but I just decided, if I'm going to benefit from these rewards, I'm going to spend a little bit more, and I'm going to put in a little more effort to build up my decks. I was doing that anyhow, but I thought I'd make a bit more of an effort to kind of get a solid silver deck built. And unfortunately, the promise hasn't really been realized because of an unforeseen issue that I didn't really think was going to happen, and that's that the rental market completely crashed. It crashed so much that it's so cheap to rent that there's no point buying at the moment. Like, I bought Quicks, I bought Adelaide, I went out and bought like everything that I hadn't really pulled from packs, and I don't even get to play those cards anymore because there's no point. Everybody else is able to rent so cheap that I have to go and rent the card again at a higher level and not play the card that I own because there's no need or incentive to do so. It's a little bit wild. Obviously, the crash has happened as a result of the bots. A lot of bots play Splinterlands, it's no secret, and it actually, unlike in a lot of games where the bots are extracting, these bots are usually owned by other players as secondary accounts, and they just siphon back to their main account. So it's not hurting the game via extraction in the same way that a lot of other games have issues. So the bots necessarily aren't the problem. The problem is that the bots have gone offline because the changes have meant that they're not performing efficiently, and when they're not performing efficiently, the owners are going to take them down. Well, this reduces demand on the market, supply is greater than ever, and obviously it causes the crash because now everybody can get these cards, and the crash is further, like the problem is increased further by the simple fact that the focus is on a lone splinter. This means all you have to do is rent one set of cards, like one deck. One for example, I'm playing life today, so I've just gone out and rented the 5 life cards that I needed, and but then my guildmates are doing fire or dragon, so the demand is so few because it's all divvied up. In the past, obviously, you rented 2 or 3 splinters that you regularly use, and you would chop and change between. You would get your daily quest done, and then you would do the other battles, building up your win streak and climb up the leagues and just farm a little bit of deck. Now the rewards are better at the moment, but the problem is you only have to rent 1 splinter. So if I'm only renting life, and my buddy's only renting fire, and my guildmate's only renting dragon, that means there's a large amount of cards available because I don't need to rent all these other cards, and I only need to rent for one day. So as a result, it's just reduced the need to buy and actually own any cards, and the whole point was to reward ownership. I'm hoping that the bots hurry up and kind of get dialed back in, so they'll return to the market, they'll rent up a lot of these cards, there'll be more competition, there'll be less supply, and it won't be necessarily viable to kind of abuse this mechanic that everybody is doing right now. And it's kind of a must as well. Like, if you don't do it, you just lose all your battles. So unless you're fortunate enough to be Daddy Megabucks and own all these cards anyway, but I don't. I've got a level 3 Tarza, and I'm having to rent a level 4 and stuff like that, and I've got lots of level 1 legendaries. I'm having to rent a level 4 summoner to play a level 2 legendary because everybody else has, and so it's kind of, if you can't beat them, join them. Otherwise, you're not getting anything. And that's what I've had to do. It wasn't such a case in the first couple of days, but then, a lot of the bigger influencers had noticed this, and a lot of videos rolled out, and then everybody else noticed this, and then everyone else started doing it, and it kind of just went boom. Also, a lot of the bots were still online in the first few days, so they weren't taken off until it was quite, evident that they weren't performing efficiently. So it's a bit of a catch-22. I don't really know how they fix this. One suggestion I do have is we have these reward share bonuses for gold, for alpha, for beta. Why is there not a reward share bonus for playing a card you actually own? I thought that would be pretty cool. The whole, changes were brought in to kind of reward ownership, but there's not actually any reward for ownership. So it seems a little bit odd, because I can just go and rent a gold alpha card and get that. But if I was to own one, I don't get any actual extra. So, and there's no real like boost for ownership if you're renting these cards out, because the market's dead. So you're not getting anything back in return. You're renting out like a level 5 card for less than 1 deck a day. It's absolutely insane. So I'm a little concerned about it. I'm not so concerned that I'm not going to buy it ever. But right now I have actually paused purchases. I think one purchase went through the other day by accident. I had completely forgotten. Because I spent all my credits. I spent all my credits on all these cards I brought in. As I said, I bought like Quicks. I bought a level 3 Taza. I leveled up a few other cards, Radiated Brute and things like that. And I forgot that peak monsters would now shift to my deck supply. So when I'm used up nearly all my deck buying another card that I just forgotten that I'd left on a bid order. So, but yeah, other than that, I've paused purchasing for the moment because there's just no real need. I'm just renting right now. And I would just like to see an incentive brought back for purchasing, because otherwise, why would anybody buy anything? Who's going to pay tens of thousands a deck for a card that you can rent for 3 deck? You're just not going to bother. It's just not cost effective when you can farm all these rewards for so much less. And then you're able to sell something from the rewards if you don't actually pull any deck to further fund doing it a little bit longer. Now, hopefully the bots will correct this when they come back, though that's not a guarantee. It remains to be seen. There's just a lot of hope in this, really. Long term, I think this could be a problem. It's far too easy right now for outsiders to come into the game and not actually buy a single card, just rent a few for absolutely nothing and extract. And that's really what they were trying to avoid. When I say they, the developers, that's what they were trying to avoid with this new system. It was really there to reward ownership. But, the rental market crash has kind of flipped that on its head. I did express this concern to some other influencers in Splinterlands, and some of them 100% agreed with me. Others were just enjoying it for what it is right now. But long term, I feel they may kind of turn in my direction as well. So fingers crossed that this gets rectified. Let me know what you think. Are you a little bit bothered by this right now? I know I've got a few affiliates and friends in the gaming scene that are a little concerned about this. They've messaged me. They've bought lots of packs. They've bought lots of cards, and they can't really use most of them. They got to go rent a bunch. So I know it's bothering other people. I know this isn't so much a problem in the top league. So the top league players are the ones that I've noticed aren't bothered. The whole renting thing isn't really cost efficient when you're playing in like Diamond, or is it Champion, the top one? I know some Champion players, I know some Diamond players, and they don't get what I'm talking about. But they're not playing down here in Silver or Gold or Bronze for that matter. But I suppose Bronze isn't so much affected either, because it's very, very cheap to actually own those cards. But I think Silver and Gold are quite costly, which is the ones that have been most hit by the rental crash. So let me know what you think. Hopefully I'm not going crazy here in my old age and just ranting about this. I imagine there are others out there that are noticing this same problem. But yeah, let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe, support your boy. I have a Patreon channel. Forgot to plug it at the start of the video because I had too much to get off my chest in this one. But it'll be in the links in the comments below. If you want to check out this game, use my referral and hop into my Discord, where I'm happy to help out anybody on this game. Give tips, advice, what to rent, what to buy, what to play. We did a strategy guide recently. I will have more of those coming, even if they're not particularly like a high demand thing for this game. A lot of people like to talk the tokenomics, the money side of things in play to earn. So I'm trying to cover a bit of both. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you for joining me in this one. And bots, please return so everything kind of stabilizes. Thank you. We're out of here.